We went through the opening press conference audio, but there's going to be press conferences every day. Shotty did 30 minutes yesterday. I'm going to play you one extremely small piece of audio there. This is the thing we wanted to know going into camp. I'm certain there will be many instances of this, but here's the first one.
We did have a competition. Somebody asked about it yesterday. Dak did beat Mike in ping pong, so that's big news to report. I'm sure Michael loved I said that, but please make the note, Micah did not have his paddle. So because he didn't have his paddle, does it count? Probably.
That was yesterday?
Yeah.
But
probably. But
That's a lot
That's
of
his-
cut shoddy. In
I know.
the little,
It's his first press conference as a head coach at training camp. And he's explaining, well, Micah didn't have his paddle.
To be honest with you, I feel as if I have to play this question for you to see how we got there.
Okay.
You thought about sitting in that chair for a while and having that first team meeting at a training camp. Did it match up to what you thought it would be?
That's the question. And he's
and he
like,
got the.
you know, I haven't given it much thought. I think once you do it, you know, those first couple times, you kind of get used to it. Like I said, the one thing about me, I've always been authentic. I'm gonna lead to my personality. We did have a competition. Somebody asked about it yesterday.
seriously, dude, that's 15 seconds in. They're like, your father was a storied NFL career.
But there's your chance to be like, I've wanted this moment for
Right.
my entire career.
Honestly,
and a lot to me
had
to be in
he
front
brought
of the team.
up my dad, Marty, I wouldn't have been mad at it.
No,
that's the
that's
time
the
to do it.
time.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, yeah, I sat there as an 8-year-old watching my dad have these meetings, and now I'm up there. And to his defense, he's kind of saying, like, I already did that. But you did that in March in Frisco. That is different than camp. But to him, no, it was an opportunity to tell you that it's ping pong, Micah won, and he was also able to work in a question. Now, does that factor in? He didn't have his paddle? Yeah, I don't know.
So the Cowboys optimist very, very, very deep inside of me wants to say this shoddy stuff is going to work. Everyone's going to play for each other. We might be watching head coaching change right in front of our eyes. Maybe it's less Andy Reid and more ping pong with shoddy. But when he redirects the first initial question to,
Tough.
we had a competition about ping pong. Maybe there is no depth there. Maybe it is just this guy is the dude perfect of coaches.
just loves ping pong. That's all that's going on.
I mean, his answer was like, well, you know me and how I'm going to coach. We played ping pong yesterday.
Yeah, right.
It's just, even if it's just sort of tertiary stuff, he does seem to really go to it a lot.
Yeah.
A whole lot.
Yeah.
So yesterday we had Micah Parsons and Trayvon Diggs. Now, these two have appeared together on Micah's podcast many times. I always find it hilarious because Trayvon, the world's worst podcast guest, even with his best friend, he's a very chill, low-key guy. He just doesn't talk much. We've had him on, like when we had him on at the Super Bowl and we had his son on with him. The son talks. Trayvon's chill. He just really talks slow. He just gets into that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever known a dude like that in sports who just has, and it's not always black guys, white guys who are like, it's just very low. But when it's time to move, they're like lightning quick. It's weird, but I feel like
the energy.
Yeah, I feel like he's one of those guys. They'll tell you that. I feel like guys like that say that. But yesterday, he's out there with Micah, and it was the 7-Eleven show. They did 10 to 15 minutes
together.
Okay.
Okay.
Sort of as a we're here to support each other type thing, and they're leaning on each other and physically, like leaning on each other. And Micah's talking about his contract, and Trayvon's talking about his rehab. And so this is the first quick answer Micah gave on, where are we with the contract? Any movement?
I mean, there's not really much movement, man. I want to be here. I've always stated I want to be here, but at the end of the day, they sign the checks like always, and let's see if they want me to be here at the end of the day.
Okay, I played that as a starter for a reason. I think that what is interesting about listening to these athletes talk is it's just humans on steroids, and I don't just mean like physically. everybody just creates their own reality and narrates their own story in their head and kind of makes things make sense how they make sense to them. We all do it, but athletes get to do that like times 1,000. They just get to create the story, speak in the language that they want to internally and then externally, and then that's just how it is. Nothing to do here is about whether they, quote, want him to be here.
Right.
But he's going to use that phrase.
They sign the checks like always, and let's see if they want me to be here at the end of the day.
Obviously, nothing means more to Jerry than making sure Micah never plays in another uniform, and it's going to happen. But the framing of it is, well, I don't know. Do they want me? It's just funny to listen to him talk that way.
And
I think he's right. I'm sorry, Blake.
Well, no.
no, it seems athletes do that. They got to find their edge.
And that's what this, and you hear it with Micah and Trayvon. They've told themselves sort of a story, and it's part and parcel to being successful in that field. I think he just is.
And I guess his alternative is if they don't match my number, then I will just hit free agency. I mean, I guess that's his approach. But yeah, it's not a matter of do the Cowboys want him. It's can the Cowboys afford him and other good players. But Jerry did compliment him.
Yeah, big time.
In the introductory press conference, saying he was the most savvy financial player he'd ever talked to. I mean, that's saying a lot. But for him to then turn around and do this elementary, like, oh, you must not want me then.
Yeah, I think it's the way the NFL players have framed it is you must not want me. Yes, relative to like the way that Max Crosby's been handled or Myles Garrett, because we're going to get to all that. Micah brings it up. They're signed and he's not. So if he could easily say like, hey, do you want me or not? But he is under contract.
Yeah.
Like he knows they're going to pay him. And I guess it's just public posturing because he knows they're going to be there. He's going to be there. They know they want him. This part I think is funny because this is about a minute into the interview, which went for about 12 minutes, and Trayvon's trying to get him out of there.
Yeah, whenever my body's fully operating the way that we need it to and things like that. We got to hit the tubs.
You're not worried about injury risk contract-wise?
Guess who doesn't care about the tubs?
You said a minute in?
Yeah, it's about a minute in.
What did he think this was?
Well, I think this recording might even start kind of late. I don't know.
Okay.
But Trayvon doesn't want to be there, and Clarence doesn't care, and I love it.
Things like that. We got to hit the tubs.
You're not worried about injury risk contract-wise?
Yeah, dude, that's what's up.
I know.
If that's the case, I wouldn't be here right now. You know what I mean? I care, like I said, I care about my teammates. They need to see me out here putting in the work. Not at home. I did that for the last 4 or 5 months. So they need to see me out here with H, Britt, whatever I need to do to make sure I'm at 100% so that way week 1 I can play.
I think it's very important to note he just said it's really important that I'm here and the coaches and the trainers see me. And it's important, right, for me to be here physically. Like, I've been away. I don't want to be away. I need to be here. And he's standing next to
I
the
don't want to
guy
be like some guys
who's
I
being
know.
asked all these questions about, like, did it piss you off when they fined you for not being here? Which I think is maybe this part.
What was your thought process for working out in Florida
Oh, here
in
you go.
comparison to working out
This
in
digs.
Texas?
Like I said, they do a great job here. I just felt like it was in my best interest to go somewhere else and get the full undivided attention that I needed. Massages and everything, just the whole 9 yards to better my career, further my career, make sure I'm good, make sure I'm ahead of schedule and, I can perform well. Like my ACL, I came back a whole 2 months earlier because of the work I put in in the off season and off the field. So
And that's a questionable one because he got hurt again.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys
And he did that with the team.
They weren't real thrilled. No, he's not done either one of these
Really?
fully with the team because the 2023 one is the one he put a documentary out about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or the time when he came back. And they said it was early, but then he just hurt himself again.
I think before he was asked that question, I didn't have that many questions about why he did it away from the team. And now that I've heard his answer, I have way more.
Right.
Like the thing he said was like, the place I go, they have massages.
Well,
And I'm positive he could get a massage at the team facility, so I know he just lied to me.
Well, there's one thing here that I think Mike is going to address. Is what you were going to say is his brother goes to some.
no, I was going to say from watching the little bit of the documentary that I did, the only part of rehab he did seem to enjoy was getting massaged.
You're right.
Didn't really like the running.
Because you get to look at your
or the
phone
lifting.
too. You get to look at your
You just-
phone.
Yeah.
While you get
So
massaged.
that's pretty funny. That was the one note he hit.
Dude, I've
They
said
massaged
before. levels of making it, above ground hot tub, and then like 4 or 5 more. You getting a haircut in your house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Getting a massage in your house is insane. Like that's what Trayvon had every day. There's a guy or a lady there, and they're going through the day, and they just do a massage.
It seemed like most of his day was getting a massage and playing Madden.
He played a lot of Madden, during the rehab. Okay, let's go back to this.
My work is going to show. Whatever I put into it is going to show on the field.
Did you expect
Did you expect the dock and pay?
No, I didn't expect that. That kind of hurt my feelings. But it's okay. Hopefully, I'll make it back in his senses.
All right, real quick here. I just want to note the bizarre world we live in. These guys are standing on the field at team activities, and like a Brandon Aubrey field goal away, Jerry is just standing there. They're in the same place. They're not via satellite, and they're just talking shit back and forth. He goes and says something, and then they're like, "Oh, our boss, I don't know. We think he's playing us." And it got me thinking, when we were at the ticket and we would play the Cumulus drop about them being cheap, like Cat did not have a problem with that. He understood it because generally he was on our side on that. It's like, yeah, of course. So, yeah, I get it. You're doing like a little, my boss is cheap. The difference is, though, in this situation, it's them to Jerry. Like, it would be like us if Cumulus was the direct boss. There's no intermediary here. They're just like, we think our boss is really cheap, and if he doesn't want us here, then yeah, I guess we won't be. And it's like, oh man, that feels like a weird thing to say, and it's gonna land odd with him. He's just over there.
I think if it was anyone besides Jerry, it might matter.
And that's what
because Jerry loves it.
And yeah, you see the Bengals owner over the last couple days. He's incensed.
Yes.
With the shit that's going on with Shamar Stewart and even Hendrickson. Like, he doesn't put up with that. Jerry just allows it because it works, I guess.
And we gotta understand where he's coming from. His brother.
So this is Micah jumping in to stick up for Lil Bro.
But it's okay. Hopefully, I'll make it back in his senses.
And we gotta understand where he's coming from. His brother just got cleared and he tore his ACL. Maybe came back 6 months, 3-4 months early.
Yeah.
Over at Alchemy, I went over there with him.
That's the place he's saying he trains, and like, hey, it worked for him.
They got some of the best recovery.
Yeah, he came to check on me. Came to check on me, made sure I was doing what I was supposed to do.
At the end of the day, this is his business. His body is his body equity. He gotta feel like he gotta do his best for his body.
I promise you, I'm introducing to you a new Micah bingo word.
Well,
because as soon as that left his lips, he was like, "Damn!"
Yeah.
And guess what? I do too.
Well, I like
it coming out of the mouth.
It's very important.
I like these press conferences because when they drop in words like that, Jerry does this all the time. It's words they've heard a lot recently.
Listen,
and we know Micah has brought this up to Jerry. Body equity. That's been a part of their negotiation.
He probably
in
hears
some
it
way.
from some mental coach type guy that Micah talks to. You know the type. Been on Rogan type thing. Body equity has been said on the Joe Rogan Experience. Just as a way to be in touch with your, yeah.
And because at the end of the day, if he's not available, what they gonna do? Get rid of him. You know what I mean? So he gotta keep his body up to par.
So that's the message from Micah. And then from Trayvon here, he's asked, because Jerry pretty much came right at Diggs as listen, the guy's not a leader. Otherwise, he'd be here. He would have been here the whole time.
I feel like, me, I'm not even a vocal leader. Like, I'm not going to be screaming at guys. I'm not going to be yelling at guys. How I'm a leader is what I do on the field, how I perform on the field, the things that I do in practice hard, working hard. So that's how I lead in my way. I'm going to lead in my way. I'm continuing to lead in my way. I'm not going to change who I am. I'm not going to change and start talking and being a vocal guy. Like, that's just not me. That's not who I am. But I will lead in different ways, and I feel like I do that. I feel like, the things I do on the field, the things I do in practice shows enough.
Well, the thing
he's
is,
not practicing with the team. He doesn't like to tackle. He hasn't been around.
Well, some of those things, let's say, are subjective. I mean, yes, lest I draw the ire that Mike Leslie got last year,
glossing over that,
which is an entire other thing of trying to shed a soft image by searching your name on Twitter and approaching some. I guess you could say like you're about it because you went up to him in person, but really soft behavior. But the guy right next to him was like, "Listen, leadership is being here. That's why I'm here." So yes, it's very important for me to be here. And actually, I read Florio this morning. This is never going to happen. But I didn't know if you don't report, you have all the options in the world, right? But if you do report and leave, if you don't come back within 5 days, they put you on the retired list and your contract tolls, and you basically can't play anywhere.
Interesting.
It's very like esoteric rule, but it is weird that Micah showed up because usually a player like that, none of them have. Zach Martin wasn't there. CeeDee Lamb wasn't there. I don't know if he knows he can't really leave now.
I'm sure.
I hope he does. And I don't think he would. But anyways, he's the one who says that's what leadership is about. And then the guy next to him is like, hey, I'm not really vocal. Guess what? We're not asking you to be. Sounds like they're just asking you to be there. And it's tough to fake.
I wonder if any of it, because Mike has said from the very beginning, I'm not holding out. Or I'm trying to find what he said specifically, but or like he would, if they would get better players around me, I would take less. Was that what he said?
That and a number of other things scatter shooting around a general team-friendly concept.
Okay. Yeah, it would be bad for his image or brand to leave now, for sure. But I don't know. It just kind of seems like a distraction if he's there.
Yeah, I don't know. I want him to play football. I get excited to watch them play football. So I want him to do that. But I also enjoy the window into these people's psyches that we get where these, first of all, Trayvon and Micah are both telling each other different stories at the same time, and they don't even seem to realize it. Like one of them saying, I don't need to be here to be a leader. The other one's like, it's the only way. And we live in a world where two guys can just say that next to each other and everyone just has to write it down.
Maybe
Weird.
ping pong is working.
Listen, that's about as lively as I've ever heard Trayvon. He was fired up.
Yeah.
He also had to run right to Twitter. I don't know if you saw that.
No.
Is there any world listening to this and just how likely is it that Trayvon's a top 10 player on the Cowboys roster in terms of impact this season?
No way.
Well,
Are you excited that he's here?
We haven't even mentioned this, and this is like, it's tricky because is it fault of his own or not? This is what we ran into having to talk about Luka's health. He's probably not even going to play for the first 6 weeks of the season. He says opening day. Clarence has been writing more like, halfway. So maybe he comes back in 6 games and things are going well. It's the soft part of the schedule and he's vibing and he's on board. But, I mean, yeah, I could come up with 9, 10 pretty quickly. I think the bigger question is he even here next year?
It's not leaning that way.
I'm having a real hard time getting enthusiastic about the idea of him being here next year.
Which sucks so bad, dude, because CD, as great as he is, I've seen a lot of dynamic play at receiver in my time as a modern to current Cowboy fan.
They all wear the same number too.
Yeah, and it's been fun, right? The passing offense generally has been okay and fun. But corners or DBs, they don't draft them. When they did, it was a giant failure when it was Mo in the trade-up. This guy was a gift. Like a second-round Alabama guy that we converted from receiver. This was a gift.
Yeah.
And it sucks. It sucks that it doesn't look like it's going to work out.
Yeah, and you're better with the grades and analytics than I am, but it just seems like he was so high risk, high reward.
In his big year, he was. In the year he went 11, 12 interceptions. By the way, let us know if we need to stop. His grade was very low. And there was a lot of debate about that, a lot of writing in the football analytics community, marrying it with film. And it's true. He was gambling a lot. And he was getting beat on double moves all the time relative to other players. The next year, when his stats went down a little bit, or a lot, he mixed it up a little bit. And then he got hurt.
Because, we say this all the time. Turnovers are hard to replicate. A team, you practice turnovers, but it's kind of, I don't know, game script or luck, really, or how much pressure you can cause. But that's hard to replicate later in your career. Like if you burst for 12 interceptions in 1 year, it's going to be hard to hit that again. And so if he can, I don't know if he can recapture that magic he had a couple years ago if he's this banged up.
I don't know if this is going to happen or has already happened or will happen in the next couple years, but I even heard Shoddy yesterday. NFL coaches will tell you sacks are BS now, basically. I think maybe Kevin O'Connell might have been the first one I heard. Like pressures, pressure rate, all these. That's all they care about now. 90% of what they care about. And I think there may be a day where corners, we come up with some way beyond just a PFF grade. You know, there's got to be some way. You know, it's tougher because it wouldn't be a raw stat. But I think you'll get guys getting paid as corners with 3 interceptions because people know that's a lockdown corner.
Yeah.
Hell, Dion, right? Like back in the day, they just didn't throw at him.
Yeah. I think everyone's always understood that to some extent. I think I would identify it as the most physically demanding, or
I would say
athleticism demanding position on the field. And in sports in general, those are usually the guys with the shortest window of utility.
Yeah.
And so, you know,
he is young though. He's younger than you think.
But once the injuries start.
Yeah, and it's been 2 years now. And not only that, once the injuries start and you're concerned about his general approach to his job, and I don't think I'm out of pocket saying that anymore. Like, this is so a narrative that the team is pushing. This is fair game now.
And it could have been a perfect storm for him because Dan Quinn loved to create pressure, take chances, put guys in the best situation they can. I don't know what Flus does.
Yeah, that's part of it, but I don't think you can have a defense with Micah on it that's ever going to be geared towards anything other than effing up the pocket. They will start and end there because even you think about even the Chiefs, right? Like they're with Chris Jones, even though he's not an edge, right? Like they still set that up that way. The whole thing's about pressure.
Yeah, and Spagnuolo likes to blitz a lot. But I don't know. I'm not going to be sad when he's not here next year, talking about Trayvon.
Deron Bland also due for a contract. I guess they could do it next offseason. They love him. I've always thought.
You think so?
I think they love him. Yeah, from what you hear, and
asking him to play inside stuff seems like a sign in the other direction to me.
I think that might be bodies. Like they have a bunch of tall guys that they think are better on the outside, and they're just so beat up at corner right now. I don't think that's a lack of faith thing. In fact, I think we have a sibling issue with Deron Bland and Trayvon Diggs because one of them's like a 5th-round grinder who just like special teams up to I'll fill in because the guy's injured and then made my way. And they have an opportunity to make him one of the highest paid corners in the league, which he's been all pro, hasn't he?
Well, yeah.
Bland was at least the 1 year.
Yeah, but I don't know. Is that another flash in the pan for him? It doesn't seem like they want to pay him either.